is the Extra Point Podcast from Arizona's family.
All right, here we go. Ready to kick off the high school football season here in the great state of Arizona. And you cannot talk high school football in Arizona without talking with our next guest live in studio. I believe he's our first guest live in studio, Jose Garcia from AZ Prep 365, an old friend of the show. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, man. Is there a prize, or let's just you and I do the show and we'll keep it at that?
The prize is you get to keep coming back the entire football season. Is that all right?
Thank you so much.
I have some like bubble gum around here. Or
Thank you
like
for
that.
the invite, man.
Okay.
But thanks for the partnership too. I know we're partnering up now this season and hopefully for future years to come as well.
We are super excited about having the state championship games, doing this podcast on Friday nights. We'll be out at games. We'll be talking to you on the Varsity Zone. We'll be previewing the games of the week. And did you see it all? We did some segments with miking up coaches the past couple days. We went out to Chandler. We went out to Arcadia. We went out to Saguaro. I am stoked. Those coaches got me fired up.
Yeah, you bring an element that obviously we can't provide, and to see the behind-the-scenes type footage of that is awesome. So, and I know the kids love, the coaches love it. They're getting the professional treatment. So I'm glad you guys are on board.
Okay, good. I'm glad it's a professional treatment. Yeah. We've got you guys full. You know what? You know what was fun? Ray Brown over at Arcadia.
Oh, yeah.
So I went out there. I had the camera and I had the microphone, and he walked out and he was kind of going, and he was so loud. Like his voice is just so booming. And he played in the NFL. He's a coach, and just let's go. And I was like, I don't even think I need to throw a mic on him. And I loved that segment.
And how cool for the kids to have an NFL coach and have a booming voice like him. I mean, I don't think everybody's going to have to listen to him.
Right.
You can't step out of line with Coach Brown for sure.
He's got a PhD in football, kids. He knows what he's talking about. You have a PhD in Arizona high school football. So how excited are you about this week to get it going?
I'm really excited. This is going to be one of the seasons that nothing against the past years we've had, but this year is very, very much anticipated just because of the talent, the teams that we have around, and I just can't wait to get it rolling. The small schools got it kicked off, but now it's the big boys' turn.
It is the big boys, and I mean, where do we start? I guess we're going to start with Hamilton, the big news of the week. The Hamilton Huskies can play in the postseason, and we've got a showdown, East versus West, Centennial against Hamilton. How do you see that one shaking down on Friday night?
Well, I think we got to start with the emotions, right? Going into that, there was a lot of wondering questions going on. Is Hamilton going to be able to be eligible for the playoffs? Are they going to be allowed to play? They got word this week that finally the probation was rescinded, so they'll be able to compete.
I went through that too. I'm like, what exactly is this? The probation's been rescinded. Okay, that's the official term we're using.
That's the official one we're going. Yeah, I think if you look it up in the dictionary.
I had to say that on the news like 4 times to finally get it right. Yeah.
It's repealed. So how about that for you and I?
All these legislative terms. Let's play football.
Yes. Yeah. So those guys, I'm pretty sure they're going to be so motivated going into the game on Friday against Centennial. A Centennial team that struggled last year, still made it to the playoffs, but they're a much stronger team. I know, playing at home for Hamilton, that's going to be an advantage. But I think it's going to be an even competitive game once things start playing out.
And for years, we wanted to see this matchup. And they never could quite play each other, and there was some state championships, but it was like, oh, come on, play in the regular season, give the people what we want. How much does this sort of signify how much Arizona football has grown just in the past even 5 years?
Indeed, and I think if you look at the 2000s, Hamilton was the one leading the way. Saguaro now is on board. Chandler's now on board. Centennial's been there also as well. I think for the first time in the Max Preps era, we have 2 teams ranked in the top 25 preseason rankings, 4 teams ranked in the top 100 in Arizona. So it's slowly, but surely building. And the best part, it hasn't stopped yet. We keep growing here in the state. So, and I think this is going to be the best year by far.
People are moving here. They want to be part of the process. Richard Taylor, who has just stayed the course out there with the Coyotes at Centennial, Julia Lopez sat down with him this week, and he talked about why he's still coaching football, because you have to learn to work together with people. What if your boss is yelling at you? You have to learn how to push through tough things. Go pick that up on her social media page. Let's just celebrate Richard Taylor for a minute and what he's been able to do at Centennial.
51 years coaching football. Started off in Ohio. Now he's been coaching at Centennial now for 31 years. And take away that losing season from last year, everybody goes through their struggles. But when you talk to him, he doesn't come off as a football coach. For me, he's always been like my uncle for some reason. That's the relationship that him and I have. And he is so special. He brings that Ohio grit to Arizona football that's needed. And he's just an asset, 300 game winner. But what he does off the field in terms of life lessons. I mean, you can't put a price on that.
And
man.
I'm going to stump for him right here if the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame is listening. Richard Taylor needs some strong consideration to get in. When he's done coaching, it doesn't sound like he's done any time yet, but I'm going to stump for Richard Taylor right here.
And he loves peanut butter, by the way.
Does he really?
Yeah. I don't know. If
Like out of the jar? Is he like,
Yes.
yeah.
I think he puts jelly, but you got to cut the crust. I don't know if you cut the crust or
Oh,
not.
I'm a crust guy. Does that make me weird?
Oh, no, man.
No? I guess, I don't know. It was never an option to cut the crust. My mom was like, no, here's your sandwich. You eat it. There will be no special orders. I'm busy.
I don't know. I'm going to have to go against you. You know, I know we're partners, but this one, I'm going to have to go against you with this one. Sorry.
Okay. All right. We'll figure out what else we can agree on here. Do we agree that Saguaro against the 19th ranked team in the nation from New Jersey is a big matchup?
Indeed. In fact, it is so big. Max Prep said it's the biggest game, out-of-state game between two teams this week.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's number 19 in Max Prep ranking going against number 14. The Open Division champ, obviously, in Saguaro, and what they present to all their athletes. And Bergen Catholic, man, they are loaded on the defensive line. I don't know if you've heard who they're bringing over.
No, don't. Tell us.
Yeah, this kid, 350 pounds, 6'6", Sadir. I forget his last name. But
He's Sadir. Sadir is planning to make a home in the backfield, right?
Yes.
One of those guys?
Sadir Mitchell.
Sadir Mitchell.
He already committed to the University of Texas, so keep an eye
did
on
he?
him.
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
that's right.
Okay, yes.
Just, Longhorn.
Yes.
Longhorn right here.
Okay, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on him.
Keep an eye. Definitely one of your guys.
Yes.
Hopefully you get on the Arizona school bus here, and hopefully you'll stay with us and root for the Arizona team.
I did. They're all good for business. Yeah. But I got to keep my enough money went to the University of Texas.
I hear you. No,
yeah.
I don't blame you for that. So.
Yes, but go Sadir.
Yes.
Go Sadir Mitchell. Yes.
That's going to be quite a matchup in Saguaro. I think one of their weaknesses is their offensive line. They only have one returning starter coming back, so that's going to be one of the key matchups to look out for. But there is the magician, of course, Devon Dampier at quarterback, who can run away from trouble. So keep an eye out for him.
And that's the thing. I mean, like you look at like the Seahawks never really invested in their offensive line because Russell Wilson could escape. So maybe Saguaro doesn't have the guys, but I was out there at practice. They've got some skill position dudes, and they've got the culture. And what they were able to do last year, winning the Open Division championship, is one of the more impressive feats that I've seen in Arizona sports.
Yeah, what they've done, and I think it's Jason Mons, to his credit, this is where he wanted to be. And then now he's pushing for that national stage. He's been pushing it. So this is going to be a big statement game for him in terms of going up against Bergen. They were finished ranked third nationally last year. So this is another step to get to where Jason Mons and Saguaro wants to be. All
right, other huge storyline. I'm excited about seeing Dylan Rayola and the Chandler Wolves. They're going on the road this week, but this is the top recruit maybe we've ever had in the state, the quarterback for Chandler.
Yep, going up against Cathedral Cadrick, one of the powers in San Diego. So much hoopla around him, and we have not yet seen him in the first game, but I have never seen this in terms of all this, the attention a kid gets leading up to his very first game, considered the number one recruit in the 2024 senior class. He can do it all, man. He can run. He can throw every type of throw. 72-yard toss is like nothing. It is going to be an absolute blast to have him in town and to see what he can do there. And I can't wait to see. I know he came over from Texas. He was originally scheduled to stay in Arizona, but the pandemic forced things around. I think he had a sister playing at TCU, so the parents wanted to move over there.
Yeah.
And now him coming back here. And it is a big feather in our cap. And we're known for quarterbacks in Arizona, but when everything's said and done, man, this might be the best quarterback to come out of the state.
I mean, he looks the part. We were out there miking up Rick Garrettson, and he looked like Pat Mahomes from afar. We don't want to put that. Let's let him play a game first, but he's got some moxie. He has a cannon for an arm, and his dad, Dom, is over there coaching offensive line. Dom was the center for the Detroit Lions, and he brought the smoke. He used to block Brian Urlacher, and he's the nicest guy you could talk to, but when it's football time, the switch flips, and you can just see it. And I'm interested to see how Chandler's offensive line ends up being built with Dom Rayola. They're building it.
Yeah, I think 4 returning starters on that offensive line. The only returning starters, by the way, for Chandler, but what a good thing to have for Dylan Rayola. And how did Dylan end up quarterback when his dad was the center in the NFL, right? What a strange way that developed, but I mean, it worked out for the best. And I think I heard that John Kidna, former teammate of Dominic Rayola, who was a quarterback, he went to go visit Dominic at their house and saw Dylan in the backyard tossing the football. And Kitna said, hey, man, I think you got a quarterback in your hands, and I think that's where it all started.
That's fantastic. We got to get out there and do that story some. We were kind of like, let's get out there, let's get out to practice, let's let him play a game, and man, I can't wait to watch him play this year. And it was also good to see big Leonard Davis out there coaching football for Chandler. Funny story, I went to the University of Texas. I played a lot of high school football, had a lot of fun.
Forgive you.
What's that? Okay, thank you. Yes, I wear my allegiance. I should just wear an orange shirt in here next time. But I saw Leonard Davis, the former Arizona Cardinals tackle, and I told him the story. I was like, I thought about maybe trying to walk on at Texas, and I had no grand illusions. I was like, I need to start looking for a career. But I was like, I want to go see. And so I walked to the University of Texas football office, made my way in there, and Leonard Davis comes walking out the door, and I was like, nope.
The dreams just went out the window right there.
These guys are giants. There's no way. But enough about my football career here. Let's talk more about.
You've got the speed, though, right? I take it. I've seen
not
you
at 44 years old.
No,
yes,
man, I've seen you on the sidelines covering games.
Okay.
You've got some that old man quickness that I like.
Yeah, maybe just like a little twitch. I can run an out route. That's about as good as I can do.
Man.
Yeah,
I'll get you the water.
We'll talk about your career here coming up. I don't know, maybe next show. How about that? We'll bring some pictures.
Man, you want people to tune in, right? I don't have much to say. So
hey, that's all right. We'll go through Jose's entire athletic history. That's stick around for the next podcast
It'll
for
be
that.
About 10 seconds.
Mine won't be much longer. So back to kind of storylines here. So Chandler, Basha's going out of town as well, and you talked about we're a quarterback state. Does Basha have one of the best quarterbacks to come out of the state?
Demond, yes. We talk about dual threats. Obviously, Devon Dampierre being one of them.
Yeah.
Demond's right up there in terms of getting it done with his arm and with his legs. So, but the best part about it is that he's surrounded with so much skill as well. And word is, Basha is saying that they've got the best defense in the state. So watch out for that. So,
wow.
We talk about their offense, but that defense has to come up clutch on Friday because they're going to be facing arguably the number one quarterback in this year's senior class in Malachi Nelson, who already committed to USC. That's going to be quite a matchup. So we're definitely looking for that one. A lot of good Iowa State games with Arizona teams as well. So yeah, that's one of the biggest games of this week for sure.
We're trying to get all the live streams fired up there just to be able to see all these and be sure to tune into the Varsity Zone at 10:35 on Arizona's Family 3 TV on Friday night.
You can have footage.
Yeah, we are. Well, we're going to try.
Awesome.
Hopefully the live. I've been texting trying to get all the live streams. So which game are you going to on Friday night?
I think I'm going to be at Liberty High School.
Oh yeah,
for that big one of the big rivalry games against Sunrise Mountain. So I'll be out there for that one.
Well, and so before we get to the matchup, it's obviously an emotional day for Liberty. Just you've been around the story, and obviously you're going to be out there pregame. So what do you think this game and this kind of pregame ceremony means to Liberty High School?
They're going to honor a fallen player, fallen hero, to be honest with you, because even though he recently passed away, and I'm talking about Zach Hunzinger, passed away after a courageous battle with cancer. He still means so much to that community, not just on the campus, but off campus. And in the sense, it's galvanized that community as well. He was going to be a captain. He was going to play a senior year. Wasn't able to do that. That's when he was diagnosed with cancer. So, now they're going to have their family there, Zach's family at the game. Sunrise Mountain, their arch rival, they're going to present something as well. So you see how much he meant to that crew there and to everybody there. I don't think there's going to be a dry eye before the game this Friday.
And I mean this rivalry game. Is this one of the best rivalries in Arizona high school football?
It has become, I would say, in my opinion, one of the top 3 big school rivalries in our state.
Yeah. Standing
room only, 7,000 fans or so. So you need to get there early. And they are always close games. Sunrise Mountain's a 5A team. Liberty's a 6A team. So Sunrise Mountain, they bring it. Even though they're a 5A team, they always bring it. So expect a close matchup in that one. And it is. That West Valley community is growing over in that Peoria section. But it is, in my opinion, one of the top ones in rivalries in our state.
Interesting. So you got that one. And then let's shoot back. Let's go to North Scottsdale now because you have Cactus and Desert Mountain as well. That's another one that I'm really looking forward to watching.
Yes, Desert Mountain reached the semifinals last year in 5A. Cactus was in the open, of course, as a 4A team, This is going to be Cactus's first 5A game for them. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then also their head coach, Coach Bellis, Brian Bellis, is taking over after, I think, 20 years as a defensive coordinator. Now he's going to step in as the head coach. He's still going to call the defense. And by the way, he's got the best chrome dome, I think, in my opinion, in the state. I got to ask for hints as to what he gets to get it shined up. I don't know if he polishes or what, but that's a sight to see.
What is the secret to a chrome dome? Because I'm slowly, grass doesn't grow on a busy street back here, man.
I was going to tell you, you're getting there. You're getting there, brother. So now we got to ask Brian, see what he's doing to keep it shining on Friday. So
all right, I might have to. I'm either that or I'm going to go Berman and do the spray on stuff.
It might be the teenagers. I don't know if you have kids or not.
Yeah,
I have a teenager, so that might be
right.
Oh
my
my
gosh! You're like, can I go to work now?
Right. I'm right there with
you.
I
go to work.
I'm right there with you. That's going to be an exciting matchup, by the way.
Yeah,
Cactus Desert. Those two teams, don't be surprised if they meet somewhere down the line in the playoffs as well. Yeah, so look out for those guys. Desert Mountain brings it with Dylan Tapley.
He gets one from Oregon. I mean, is he going to play in the Big Ten or is he going to play in the Pac-10?
That's another question.
Yeah, that's a fascinating question in recruiting right now.
In college, everything's changing so much there in the atmosphere. So atmosphere.
Right.
I'm off to a very slow start.
This is a preseason week for us. We're getting warmed up here. I'm bouncing all around the valley, and I'm saying, we probably should have had a discussion about your syllabus here because I'm like, let's go out west, let's go to North Scottsdale, let's go out to the East Valley. Where do you want to go next? Let's pick another game and talk about it.
South Point Chaparral.
Yep, another one.
Another big one.
So is South Point? Bijan Robinson, that Saguaro Bijan Robinson game a couple years ago, Saguaro South Point, but was one of the best games I've ever seen. Is South Point close to that point of being that talented again, in your opinion?
Not yet. I think maybe in another year or so, but they're going to be in they're always in contention for the playoffs. So keep an eye out for those guys and their defensive line. They got some great kids on that defensive line. Brent Barnes of South Point is getting, excellent coach over there. Pardon me, at Chaparral. Yeah. So keep an eye out for him. Elijah Rushing is the guy on the defensive line for South Point. He is going to be a monster. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the #1 defensive lineman in our state next year.
Wow!
So keep an eye out for those guys.
Maybe he gets an offer too from the University of Texas. As we're offering defensive linemen,
running backs, everybody.
Always working here. So how about let's stay in the neighborhood there. Horizon's at home. That looks like another Notre Dame Prep. That looks like another intriguing matchup. We're trying to get 90 cameras out in the field on Friday. So.
If you need any help.
Which one did you say? You're going to be at Liberty. Are you going to stay there the entire game?
I'll be there probably halftime and then go check out another game.
Where do you think you'll go?
I think Mountain Ridge, the Mountain Ridge game against Castile. That's another big game that's gonna be out there.
So, That'd
be in the area. So
Bobby Newcomb. So I remember watching Bobby Newcomb, the coach at Castile, play college football at Nebraska.
Yep.
And his son's really good. And I want to go out there and do the story and show the old Bobby Newcomb video because I think he got hurt. He could have been the next Tommy Frazier, in my opinion.
Yes, he was so good. I remember seeing him, and I think he won a national championship right there with
as a receiver. Didn't he have to move to receiver? I could be wrong.
That's when they were running the wishbone, right?
Yeah.
If anybody remembers the wishbone.
Or the veer.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring that wishbone back.
Yeah. Nebraska might need to, yeah.
And he is such a solid coach.
Yeah.
So underrated. In the Premier region, which is, as you well know, it's a gauntlet here in our state.
Right.
And he does it every year. You don't think they're going to be in contention for the playoffs, but every single year he has his team ready. And I think he has a doctorate as well. He's Dr.
Newcomb,
by the way.
Wow.
I don't know what the doctorate is in. So
yeah.
So he brings it. And his son, of course. I think he's committed to UCLA already. But,
is he?
Yeah, but
interesting. Do they end up in the Pac-12 or the Big Ten? Tune into another podcast for that discussion.
Or in another atmosphere.
Right, yes. What atmosphere are we in? So where do we go from there?
So just the Notre Dame Horizon game we were talking about.
Yeah.
Horizon, the defending 5A champ.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, yes. Yeah. How great of a story was that last year? What was their big tight end's name, number 85?
Matthew Kloffenstein.
Oh, my gosh. Kloffenstein makes the catch, and our Julia Lopez and Nick King pulled him out of the celebration and interviewed him last year. And you just tell how much that meant to the community at Horizon.
Great kid.
Yeah.
Awesome kid. Already committed to Baylor, by the way, and going up against your Texas team.
Yeah, it's been a rough experience against the Baylor Bears. I think they're a little upset they got to stay in the Big 12, but, I hope he has a good time in Waco.
Andy Linden. the job that he's done at Horizon.
Yeah.
He came in, former Hamilton offensive coordinator, first-year coach, but from the beginning, you can tell something special was brewing, and he just brought it that first year, and to pull off a state championship there. We'll see what he does for an encore. I know they lost some key parts to that offense, but after what he did last year with that team, I have no doubts they're going to be back in there. And
throw it to Kloppenstein, man. That guy's like Gronk.
Pretty much.
So Notre Dame Prep comes up there. So I mean, how does Notre Dame Prep look? Have you been out there at all? In your opinion, do you know how does that one shake down?
George Prelock, their coach, does a fabulous job. I know their offensive line. I think they return nobody there. So,
oh wow, yeah, that's going to be a rough one.
That's going to be, we'll see what happens in the early going, but by mid-season, I'm expecting those guys to be in, and the Saints to be ready to go and ready to make a playoff push.
Awesome. All right, so what other games we got? What else should we be watching for Friday night? For those who are watching or listening to this podcast right now and said, I want to go catch a game.
The coaching debuts. I think we have some big-time coaching guys, first year, guys who've been around, to be honest with you, but Perry, Joseph Ortiz, I think he's taking his team up to Nevada. We'll see what happens there. Totally, everything seems to have switched around at that Perry program now. There's a lot of momentum building up, especially with Coach Ortiz. Very offensive-minded guy, so we'll see what happens there.
They really should change their name. Instead of the Perry Pumas, they should be the Perry Purdies. I'm gonna make that recommendation. Also, Millennium, they should be the Falcons and not the Tigers to have the Star Wars tie-in, just to get us off the rails.
I will pitch that for you. I'm actually live like 2 minutes away from Millennium, so
okay.
I
have beef. I've asked. I haven't asked Josh Rojas about that in the Diamondback clubhouse. I don't think he liked my recommendation.
I will,
but yeah.
I'll schedule the interview right now.
Okay. Yeah. Can we? I just think this is like, why are they the Tigers? Everybody's the Tigers. Be the Falcons. Use the Millennium Falcon. Have the whole Star Wars theme. You'll go viral.
It's like the Basha Bears, right?
Right.
How about the Basha Baggers?
Exactly. Be creative.
Yes. That could be a podcast.
It could.
Maybe we'll make some inroads there. Maybe
change all the mascots in Arizona.
I'm right there with you.
We need creativity. Okay.
And Brock Purdy, by the way, congratulations on him.
Yes.
Making the San Francisco 49ers team as the last selection for the NFL, Mr. Irrelevant.
Right. Do you remember? So he had mono, and then he came back in his junior year at Perry. And remember that mad dash to beat to beat Hamilton in overtime?
I think yes. Which one?
Oh,
because there were so many during his last two seasons. I'm recalling the Chandler championship game.
Yep.
I think both teams scored 50, and I thought the first team to 50 wins. And sure enough, I mean, what he brought to the state, to the program, nobody thought he was going to do anything. He didn't get any major offers till late in his high school career. What he did at Iowa State. And then now, I was not surprised he made it with the 49ers and, was able to get a spot there. So, can't talk. Congratulations. Yes,
right. That's what makes Arizona high school football great. Yes, the Perry Purdies.
Perry Purdies, for sure.
I think that would work. All right, so what else we got here?
One last one. Jeff Skurin at Rio Rico down in southern Arizona.
Yeah.
Does a fabulous job of turning around programs. He's taking over Rio Rico, and don't be surprised if those guys are in the playoffs now that Jeff is in charge. All
right, Damian Almeida down at our Tucson affiliate. I'm going to make this public request for you to get down there and get some highlights of that for us. And feed them up here to the varsity zone. We're now statewide, so.
Man, I heard you're in Yuma too, in Flagstaff. Or that in the works, maybe. I hope I'm not.
I don't know the transition agreements with the service towers. I don't know how that works. I mean, I'll learn that. But I don't know when it goes on the air. But we're excited, man, because this thing's going to be statewide. And, Arizona's family is here for the people of Arizona.
And now we're part of the family. So
yes,
thank you.
Yes. You're home of the AIA. You're home of Jose Garcia. Anything else to get to before we
No, man. I think we get everything on the syllabus.
That's fantastic. Okay. Well, thank you for bringing in notes. I kind of just talk and we get off the rails real fast.
I'm not as good as you, so.
Oh, well, it's.
I need the notes.
It's a slow.
I'm a print media guy.
There have been many podcasts that have gone down in flames, so I'm good at bailing water and catching throws at first, and that's my only talent. But hey, thanks so much for coming in. Look forward to doing this again, and we will see you out on the sidelines on Friday night on the Varsity Zone in the state of Arizona. The Extra Point Podcast is a production of 3TV, CBS 5, and azfamily.com in Phoenix, Arizona.